Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a really unique scooter. This is a scooter that we haven't really reviewed, or a style of scooter that we haven't reviewed in a very long time. Because this scooter has 3 wheels, and it gives you a ride experience. It's more similar to riding a longboard. We're talking about the GOTRAX G Pro. It's a 3-wheeled electric scooter that has tons of power and is so much fun to ride. Let's go and check it out. Now the GOTRAX G Pro is a 3-wheeled scooter that packs some really good power. We're talking about a 300-watt gear motor that is also supported by a very comfortable ride. And there's a lot of things about this scooter that are going to give you extreme comfort. For example, it has 10-inch air-filled tires, and these tires are going to give you a superior ride experience. It also has a built-in lock, which I think is invaluable, especially because so many of us are more and more riding scooters that carrying a lock to be able to lock it up, especially if you go to the grocery store or if you're doing it for a commute, is important. And having it built into the system or into the scooter, I think is a plus. And I'm telling you, GOTRAX is known for this, and I haven't really seen any other scooters that have something like this. Now, the system also has, or the scooter has, the ability to stop really well. And again, this is the first time I've seen this in a scooter as well. It doesn't have just a single disc system, not a 2-disc system, but it has a triple disc system. It has disc brakes in the back, disc brakes in the front. That's going to give you a great stopping experience. When you need to stop, this thing is going to stop. Now, the other thing about this scooter is that it has dual rear suspension. 2 springs, right? It's almost like shock absorbers in the back that really help with the swaying left to right, because we talked about this being more like a longboard, and literally it's a type of scooter that when you want to go into, let's say, the right or to the left, it's about leaning in that direction at the same time that you're turning the actual steering column. Now, great suspension, great ride, and also you have some reasonable speed in this scooter, right? Especially for the type that you're talking about. You have 15.5 miles, which is going to be your top speed, and that's going to vary based on your weight. So depending on your weight, you're going to be able to get that speed, and I was hitting it with no problem. 24-mile range, and if you do get caught in the rain, you really don't have to worry. IPX6 rated, so that's going to be great. Now, the weight capacity for this thing. Weight capacity is 265, and that means that you can carry stuff with you too, right? So it does have a hook that you can bring some groceries and things with you. And if you're worried about how does this work on your commute, well, it weighs 52 pounds. So you're going to be able to carry it with you, take it on a train, bus, whatever vehicle that you need, or you can put it in the back of your car so you can get from point A to point B. So a lot of things to like. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the scooter. We'll look at, again, all of the features close up. We'll take it on a ride, and I'm going to talk to you about how my ride experience was. Now, this is one of the most unique scooters that we reviewed on the channel in quite some time. Really, the GOTRAX G Pro 3-wheeled scooter is much more than a scooter. It's more of a skateboard meets scooter. Had a baby, and then you ended up with this. Because literally, the suspension system in the back is killer. The experience is just out of this world. It's just nothing like you've experienced if you've ever ridden a scooter before, especially with all the leaning that you can do. So let's talk a little bit about what you can expect with the scooter. You're talking about 24 miles per charge, and you're getting a 15.5 mile per hour max speed. And you basically have 10-inch tires, right? The front is a 10-inch, and the back is 8.5, and they are air-filled. So this is going to give you a great ride. Now, the charge time for the scooter is around 4 to 5 hours, and the average weight is about 52 pounds for the unit itself. So let's take a closer look at, all the dimensions, and we'll check out the display and see how this thing works, because this is one cool scooter. Right, now the first thing we're going to take a look at is the suspension, and this is where this thing looks pretty cool. So take a look at how you have on the back this nice suspension system that is going to allow the scooter to lean left to right. So this is where I said it's very close to having kind of like a skateboard experience. It has a little rear plate right here, which is also pretty cool, and you can see that you have a dual disc system in the back. Now, the other thing we'll highlight is this thing right here. This is actually metal. This is not plastic in any way, and this is your locking mechanism when you fold the scooter. Pretty cool. Now, the other neat thing about this scooter is that it does feature an anti-theft system. So this is an actual cable that you can pull out, and you're able to use this to lock your scooter down. We've seen this in a lot of the GOTRAX scooters, and I want to say that this is probably a unique feature that I've only seen in their line. Now, the way this is going to work, all you have to do is set your combination, push this button here, and then you're able to pull out the cable. See how this cable comes out? And then you're able to tie down your scooter. Now, unfolding your scooter for transportation is pretty simple. All you do is you push this button up right here. We'll do it with this hand. And then you pull forward. and then that's going to release the locking mechanism, right? So once you push this down, you'll be able to lower the scooter, and then the front area of the scooter is going to lock into the metal plate that we saw earlier. Cable management, everything in this scooter is really well done when it comes to cable management. You can see the cable management area here, how everything comes in. Talked about the metal area here, that's your hook that locks in your steering column. All you do is you move it over like this, it locks into place. This is metal, it's not going anywhere. To remove it, there's a little side button that you push right here, a little side thing you'll see in a second, and then you can open it up. Now in the front of the scooter, you also have another lockdown mechanism or tie down. This is also metal. Now cable management for the scooter is also really well done. Here you have your front and rear brake, and you'll notice that everything gets tucked away really nicely. You have a reflector in the front as well as your LED, and you do have a bell that we'll see in a second. Well, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. There you go, there's your little bell. Now starting up your scooter does require a password, which is something that I really like. All you do is you just press the button to log in once you change your password. Just like that. So you set your numbers and then you press the power button twice and you'll be able to get in. And then you'll be able to see like your different modes. So I have level 1 or level 2 depending on the speed that you're choosing. Now the scooter does support cruise control, and you can see it over here on the side. So once you hit this throttle and you hold it at a specific speed, it's going to kick in. We talked about the little bell there, and this is the locking mechanism that we're looking at earlier. So this is what locks with the bottom area there. Now keep in mind that what I like about this is that you could also use this for groceries, and you guys know we basically do a lot of electric reviews, and we use our scooters to go to the grocery store and our bikes as well. And so this is a great hook. So if you want to put some groceries here, it's not going anywhere. This is metal. Really, really nicely done, and you can see how sturdy that is. Now here's another look at the bed, and you can see how wide it is in the back right there, and then how it basically tapers into the front. You do again have 3 disc braking systems, right? 2 for the back and 1 for the front. Now for those of you curious about how bright the LED is, you can see this is daylight, and you can see how much brightness is coming out of that LED. So it has an adequate LED, and also once the LED is turned on in the front, you do have some markers in the back. Now the LED in the back is also pretty bright, so anyone who is following you, or if you're in a trail, they're going to see you. So guys, we're riding the GOTRAX 3-wheeled scooter, and this is a scooter unlike anything that we've ridden before. It has 3 wheels, and I'd say it's closer to riding a longboard because as you're turning, right, what you do is you lean. So you can see how I'm leaning from side to side, and that helps me kind of like as I turn. Now keep in mind that there is a steering column here that I can turn right and left, and that's going to allow me, you know, to turn right or left as you would expect from any scooter, but it's not the same. I'm going to go into this parking lot and then you'll see what I mean. All right, so the first thing that you'll notice as I'm turning, I'm kind of leaning into this. So this is again what I was talking about, how it's almost like if it was a longboard. Here I am leaning, and I'm telling you, this is fun. So we're going to go ahead and try to speed up a little bit. Now, once again, I could turn. There is, you know, the top portion here, you do have a steering column like a traditional scooter would be, and you can actually turn, but I find that it wobbles a bit when you do turn if you try to turn suddenly. So I'm going to go ahead and go around. I'm going to turn around so you can see how the turning radius is. All right, so you can turn, so you can see me turning, and I'm going to go in a circle here, just so that you can see. But what I find is that as I'm turning, in order not to get a wobble, and I hope no one gets dizzy with this one, you kind of lean in a little bit, right? So I'm going to go from this, and I'm going to pull out. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure I could have done that on a scooter. Let's go ahead this way. Whew, that was fun. So let's take a look at what the top speed in this scooter is. So top speed is rated at 15.5 miles an hour, and it's pretty easy to hit that. We're going to come into a complete stop, and we're going to see if we can get to that speed. Let's go ahead and hit it now. And remember, this is going to be a kick to start, right? So kicking to start, it says 5, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15.5. So that was a really healthy start or speed right there. As soon as I take my hands off of the actual throttle, I have cruise control going right now. So again, this is just the normal speed. Nothing. I'm not doing anything at this point. The steering column on this scooter is higher than some of the other scooters that we reviewed. So this is going to do well for someone who is taller, right? The suspension, because of the spring suspension in the back, or the shocks, is very, very comfortable. I'm digging it. I am really digging it. Now, handlebar. As we think about the steering column here, everything is really accessible. We'll pull back so you can take a look at what you see there. So we have the controls here for the different, you have your throttle, which I'm on. You have a bell, which you can hit. You have the 2 brakes, which are very responsive. And then, and they're disc brakes, right? Because typically what you find is the front brake is not a disc brake, but this is actually disc brake all forward and back. So you have 3 disc brakes. And then what you have are these little shifters in the front that kind of lock things in for you. And let's go ahead and go through here. Now this is the cool thing about the scooter, the way you can just lean in and then just take that turn. Oh, I like that a lot. Now right in front of your brakes, both left and right brake, you have what I've not seen ever before in a scooter, and that is a brake lock. So right here in front, there's 2 knobs that you can adjust to lock the front and the rear disc brake system. That's pretty cool. Never seen that in a scooter before. This is the first time that we have one that actually has here in the front, see if that comes up, that little locking system. So guys, that wraps up our review of the GOTRAX G Pro. See you in the next video.